go in the water then.
Pretty grim, very windy. Right, you've really come in now.
Wow, oh wow,
I need a fucking car. I mean, it's like, keep going for them.
If we can negotiate a cab now to Edinburgh for like 300 quid.
Oh, incredible. Yo! This was definitely a really bad idea. I'm happy to admit it now. I'm happy to sort of shoulder that one. This is a really bad idea.
What an ordeal. Easier, harder? What do you think? Easier than you thought, harder than you thought?
I think the mission was quite simple on paper. Travel to Durness and play 99 holes of golf in a day on the most northerly course on the British mainland and travel back. It was way, way tougher than I thought it would be. So the journey up there, we had previously thought driving, but driving 12 or 13 hours and playing 99 holes on very little sleep, having very little sleep, and then driving 12 or 13 hours back home seemed a bit dangerous. So we decided to go by national rail. We went old school, we went just like James Braid travelled to all of his golf courses, and jumped on a train up to Glasgow, and then we changed and got the train up to Inverness from there.
Some of the views you get going through the Highlands, you know, Pitlochry, Stirling, Glen Eagles, it's just gorgeous.
The landscape just starts to unfold, doesn't it? It starts to get more dramatic. You get kind of into Perthshire, up to Glen Eagles and beyond, and you're starting to think, wow, this looks amazing. And it was all going so well. Everything was, you know, the miles were ticking by. We had the US Open on the screen. You guys were watching the F1 as well. Like, the whole thing was all very, very comfortable and very relaxed. And then once I got attacked by a seagull at Inverness Airport for my sandwich, and you got the hire car and we had to drive 2.5 hours through the pitch black, that was, without doubt, probably the scariest point of the whole few days.
30 odd miles of single track with deer, and they kept kind of running across the road, and it was pitch black and raining and probably a foreboding of what's going to come the next day. But finally get there, pull into our digs of bunk beds.
The hostel was an experience, wasn't it? It was a proper hostel as well.
And then waking up at 4:30 and getting to the golf course with balls in the air at 4:45. How did you feel when we pulled up? It's grey and overcast and we're all tired, and I mean, you started shelling clubs early.
Yeah, I went down to the thing that I actually couldn't be bothered to change the clubs during the day, but I played with driver, 3-iron, 7-iron, 9-iron gap putter. Like, that was it. That was my full arsenal. But pulling into because we drove in complete darkness, you didn't have a sense of the landscape. So when you wake up and you see the land that you were about to play on, I've wanted to go to Durness for years now. Like, it's been a top of the bucket list place to go. So getting to go there, like, there's some excitement. I was massively nervous that I'd completely screwed us on this. Like, the weather forecast was really bad. I thought this could be a complete mistake. But when you drive and you see the landscape, you're like, we can't miss from here. It's going to be okay.
First impressions?
That first hill hits you hard, like really hard. That's an inevitability of the golf course. You've got to get yourself up and over that hill. So that first hole, you think, I've got to do that 11 times today. It's quite a scary proposition. What did you think of the golf course?
I thought the golf course was fabulous. You kind of start on a cliff above the clubhouse sits above the bay, and it overlooks gorgeous turquoise water and a beautifully long beach and dunes in the background, and you know you're in for a good day because the setting's amazing. And then you walk up one, and you, depending on how you've hit the ball, you either walk in a straight line up one, or invariably you walk miles right and then double the length of the hole and walk up one, and the vista opens again, but not fully. Then you walk up two, vista opens up a little bit more, but not fully, and then you crest the middle of three. And once you've passed the middle of three, and you can see pretty much at the highest point there, maybe there's a little bit higher on 5 tee box 4 green maybe, but it's from that point, you know, a 360 degree panorama of mountains and lochs and seas and rivers, and yeah, absolutely breathtaking.
I mean, it's a 9-hole course, and it genuinely comes alive at the top of that third fairway. You drive over, you got that plummeting shot down to a beautiful green site in that sort of little valley of dunes. 4 is, quite possibly one of the best par 4s I think I've ever played. It's gorgeous. The green site is an absolute work of art, and you have to play, and you've kind of got this dune ridge that falls off on the left and dune ridge on the right of the green. Then you play 5, which is just the most breathtaking natural golf hole. Elevated tee, you're playing down to that green, which is just draped across the back end of a dune before it plummets off down the back. And then 6 is bizarre because you've come up so high to get to this piece of land you're on, and there's a loch that then you're playing around a short par 5 as a cape hole, and the water's sort of there eager to get balls. It's a really good little strategic test. You've got to think about where you're going to pick your drive to. Do you go with the long iron? Do you try and bully something down the sort of tight neck at the far end? And then again, you've got another green site that's just draped over the side of this sort of dune at the bottom of there. So that run of holes, 4, 5, 6 are pretty breathtaking. 7's a nice little par 3, and you get across to 8 then, which is, I would say, one of the most picturesque drives you'll ever get in the game of golf. The dune the other side of the bay is absolutely knockout. Like, it's breathtaking scenery, and it's a full roller coaster. You just get the ball out on the right side of that fairway and you let it run and run and run. And I think we spent, every time we went round that, we were experimenting with different shots. We figured out that down by the green, if you finish left of the green, you just play up the hill again, over to the left, and let gravity move the ball back to 10 feet for you. It's just a roller coaster of fun, that golf hole.
And then you get to 9, which is a do or die par 3, only short, plays ranges between 105 and 155, depending on the tee box. But there's nothing on the floor between you and the green. It's all plunging down into the ocean. And you've just got to carry it and hit a good shot, and hopefully you make your 3 or your 2, and then you're looping again. What do you think? What do you think of the ambition, perhaps the way that it panned out with the weather? And
I think I quickly realised it was going to be something that we would get more enjoyment from looking back on than doing, because the weather was absolutely crazy. The idea was really simple on paper. The wind was a stock 25-30 mile an hour, really strong breeze.
Very, very magical place. Not sure it's magical enough for 9 holes and 11 loops. I think, it's a nice 27-hole day. It'd be a beautiful 27-hole day. In the sun, not in 30 mile an hour wind, in the rain.
Right, you've really come in now. We're on hole 65. So we're within 2 rounds now.
Go on, turn. Great put though.
It's more than a 4-club breeze. We're hitting 3 irons from 150 and stuff like that. It was really gnarly into wind. When the rain came, that just totally came at us hard.
It doesn't feel like it's rained all day, but we're playing 36 holes. Well, just about 40 holes in the end, in the pouring rain to finish it off. You wouldn't usually play 9 you'd never play 36 in the rain.
And it was that really saps it. I think the idea of 99 holes, how did you feel about the mental milestones that you have to go through?
Yeah. To play 36 golf holes, which is an ordinary club championship day, which is tiring in itself, and to know you're a smidge over a third of the way done was quite stressful on the legs. It was quite stressful in the mind. So we're 63 holes through.
Finish. Hot. Wet. Swept. We've got another 36 to go. We're going to get it done.
To get 50 golf holes in and think, you know, that was really hard. 6 hours, 7 hours. Only, there's 6-7 hours to go. That's only halfway. And every milestone you hit, 66 holes, 75 holes, 3/4 of the way there, you think, right, I've done it. You've still got the thickest end of 3 loops still to do. It was very, very mentally stressful. It's not just a course that goes up and down. Intra-hole was massive elevation change. The climb between 3rd green and 4th tee, huge. The 5th tee to 5th green, again, huge drop again. And then you play kind of back uphill to 8th tee box. A lot of climbing. I think one of our watches clocked kind of 320 flights of stairs.
More than 3 ascents of the Empire State Building. 3 ascents of the Empire State Building before you've moved forwards. For me, the hardest spot of that was 27 holes, because I was just pooped.
You want to bet someone Williams quits?
Oh, that's me on camera. What we got? We're hole 30 now. So by the end of this, it's 36.
I'll go 54.
I think if he's going to call it, he'll call it early. He won't wait till 60 and then...
I reckon it'll be 45, but he'll come back out later for more. So he won't give up in time.
Even when it's rain.
Yeah, well, no, not when it's raining. But
It's got to be me, surely.
I think he's got too much pride. I think he's got too much pride to quit. I hope I'm right.
And then I was like, whoa, 27 holes. I've now got 72 holes to do. When we did 72 holes 4 years ago, whatever, 27 holes, you're nearly knocking up the halfway mark. This was like, right now we need 72 holes out of you. And I thought, we've bitten off way more than we can chew. Like, the experience was amazing. Like, in the morning, it was dry. And we kind of got into a really nice rhythm late morning of just chewing up 9s, keep going, chew up another 9, keep going. And then when the rain hit, it was really hard to make progress then. I think we started worrying that we just weren't going to get this done by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I think it's energy just drops off a cliff, doesn't it? I've just noticed our pace of getting round is just really slowly dropping off. It's like 10 minutes extra every 9.
Well, we've gone from being...
Well, you've got to do 5
ahead
extra
of
9s.
schedule
That's like,
to
potentially be out to over 2-hour 9s with that.
Yeah.
The rain did not stop from 1 o'clock until the rest of the day. It was relentless, driving rain, 50, upwards of 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. It was absolutely brutal.
But even with all that, there was a lot of putts for birdie. There was a lot of looks at birdies.
What was the format?
Format was an eclectic scorecard over 9 holes you can continually add to, so that your best score on that hole of the day. We were all aiming at net 9 unders, so we then set a realistic birdie number and then worked the handicaps backwards. So I went for 4 birdies on 4 different holes. So my handicap would be 5, as was Luke's. You thought you could make 6 different birdies, so you put your handicap at 3. Peter thought he could birdie everything, so he sets handicap at scratch. And we were all trying to get to 9 under gross. And 3 of us did.
I would say the agony of missing makeable birdie putts. Now, I had 2. I had 2 absolute kicking birdies, and when they missed, that was a real body blow to me. But there was so many that were like 10 feet. And you just like, I finally got a chance at birdieing the 3rd. You'd have 10 feet and you'd miss it. And you've got to go back again. And you've got to go all the way around, play another 9 holes just to get yourself back in the mix to try and birdie that 1 hole that you need. I mean, you got 9 really early doors. You had like a really good start.
I was 9 under after about 6 laps.
Yeah.
And then I didn't add
Net.
to it.
You got 4 birdies.
4 birdies, 5 pars.
Yeah.
And I didn't add to that for the remaining 6 loops. That was fairly soul destroying. You're just looping it, and there were some holes that I couldn't reach because of the wind.
I think these first 4 will be the ones we're endlessly trying to get scores on.
There were holes where I was getting it on the green, but never really give myself realistic looks at birdie. Just lap it, and they were the beginning 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you've got 4 out of the way, you know, right, okay, I've got to walk all the way around again to have another crack at those holes. And realistically, if I'm being honest, I didn't think I could be caught, so I didn't really care very much.
Since you put them shorts on.
There we are. I've put me on 6, and I'm coming for you, Tommy.
And missing a 2.5 footer on 7 for the out and out win. That would have been for 10 under, 5 under gross.
That would have been quite
That would have been
hard.
lights out.
That would have been hard to beat.
And I missed a 2.5 footer on about the 9th lap or something.
Because I think I got 5 and 6, got 5 and 8 in really early doors. I felt like I'm going to par all these holes eventually. I got 6, so I was like, great, 3 under. I've just got to pick off 6 more birdies here, and I can I thought I can get a good go of those. I front edge of 2, like a 2-putt birdie. I got it to within 2 feet and missed it. You know, that was just soul destroying. I hit one of the few great chips that I'm capable of hitting, and had like 2.5 foot the birdie on 1, missed it, and I missed so many makeables as well. Like so many chances I had at like 9 again, just flat putt, just got to knock it in. So it was always like all the footage is like, oh, I've got to putt the birdie, let's get the cameras on this. Nope, it's gone foot left, foot right, foot left, foot right. It was brutal.
But we got through our 10th lap, and we got to the 9th hole, and Peter had a 8 footer for his birdie to complete the set. And full disclosure, so Luke on the 88th hole had an injury, a flare-up of a recurring injury. It was clear that he couldn't continue.
And it's like, these bits where you're just fully fucking spent.
Yeah. It's been a long old day. A long old day.
It's been a killer.
So on the 88th hole, he walked in. We had 2 to play left on that 9, so we played 8 and 9. On the 90th hole, Peter had an 8 footer for birdie, and I think we'd all decided at that point the objective was 99 holes, but we'd started as a team. We were going to finish as a team. Luke was unable to continue, so this was Peter's last chance at birdie in 9 at 8 foot for birdie.
Come on, birdie him.
Which he left agonisingly short, which would have given him the victory. But I don't feel like it was defeat. It was always going to be really, really hard. The location, the weather. We wanted to do 99 holes. We got to 90. Does that make it a failure? Probably. But it doesn't feel like a failure because it was an amazing memory as a team. The place was off the charts.
Oh my word, mate.
Shot, Lucas.
Look, that's probably the best swing I've ever seen you put on a golf shot. It was about a journey. It was about the journey of us, the 4 of us doing it. And I think that was the thing is, and it shows you just that like pack mentality, like 4 of us really wanted to do it. We had an unbelievable day, like we faced all highs and lows, like we had great highs and we had points where it was just absolutely miserable in that weather. And once Luke was like, he couldn't go on past 90, it was like, that's okay, we've finished as a team, we've done this, like the point's been proven, we can put ourselves in the middle of nowhere here and enjoy it.
Key takeaways for me. Durness is somewhere that if you're serious about your golfing wilderness, it's a place you must go. If you're interested in being adventurous and getting off the beaten track and finding somewhere that is a little less played and a little bit more rustic and far more sustainable than most places, Durness is a place you must visit. If you want to rough it and sleep in a camper van and and eat the best toasty you've ever eaten in your life, Durness is a place you must visit.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, pleased we did it. Really pleased we did it. 100% I'll go back to Durness when the time is right. And I think we need to roll on next year.
Bring it on.